Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
We know that what appears to be a lone gunman carried out these attacks. We've identified a name, and at this point, a full investigation is taking place. The FBI will be in the lead, working closely with local law enforcement. We've also been in contact with the Department of Defense to make sure that all our defense facilities are properly attentive and vigilant as we sort through exactly what happened. And as details of the investigation proceed, we'll make sure that the FBI, as well as local law enforcement, are providing the public with all the information that's involved.
That was Obama's reaction following the shooting in Chattanooga that left 4 Marines dead and 2 others injured. Very calm indeed. And of course, that's because he can't exploit this attack for his political agenda, because that would only serve to highlight the fact that once again, our military was attacked here on U.S. soil. We can trust them with tanks, attack helicopters, and fighter jets, but not a sidearm at their post. And just to show you how totally backward this country is, now armed Americans are standing guard outside military recruitment centers. This is a group led by Hiram resident Crystal Tuello, and this group says that they aim to protect their local recruitment center while honoring the lives of the fallen Marines. Crystal said, to think the people who are supposed to protect and serve us are unable to protect themselves. That's absurd. Now, under current U.S. law, no firearms are permitted inside of military recruitment centers and similar facilities. Tuello, whose brother is a military recruiter, says that such gun-free zones leave American troops vulnerable to attack. And of course, that is something that we're continually saying here, continually pointing out. And you'll notice that that call for gun control was missing from Obama's speech. Also missing was his usual admonishment for the American people that these type of attacks don't happen anywhere else. And he also didn't use the phrase domestic terrorism, even though the shooter was a naturalized American citizen. So he pretty much just said, you know, we're going to wait for all the details to come in. But you'll recall, he didn't need to wait for all the details after the Charleston shooting. He was immediately calling for gun control.
But I don't need to be constrained about the emotions that tragedies like this raise. I've had to make statements like this too many times. Communities like this have had to endure tragedies like this too many times. We don't have all the facts, but we do know that, once again, innocent people were killed in part because someone who wanted to inflict harm had no trouble getting their hands on a gun.
And the president made it pretty clear how he felt in the aftermath of the killing of 4 unarmed Marines. Take a look at this tweet that he sent out. This is before he even commented on the terror attack. The White House tweeted out a statement wishing Muslims happy Ramadan, Eid Mubarak, as Ramadan came to a close, and he adds that the holiday is a reminder to every American of the importance of respecting those of all faiths and beliefs. So it was only after Obama had given this little lecture to the American people about respecting Islam that then he paid tribute to the 4 dead Marines with that pitiful and unofficial press conference. So completely shameless, and of course we'll have to wait and see if he's going to spontaneously bust out in amazing grace here in the following days. But last I checked, he still hadn't made even one single tweet about this attack. He was careful to point out, however, that the attack was carried out by a lone gunman here, and Ted Cruz shot back at that by saying there's no such thing as a lone gunman in radical Islam. He said, in the wake of this vicious attack on our nation, we need to rid ourselves of 2 dangerous delusions. First and foremost, that a lone gunman, as President Obama described the shooter, is somehow isolated from the larger threat of radical Islamic terrorism. In the modern world, no one acts in isolation. Through social media, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and other groups are infiltrating our nation with impunity, while our government will not even admit that radical Islamic terrorism is a problem. And of course, the second delusion that Cruz went on to talk about in this attack is the fact that Obama thinks that this is somehow isolated from the terror attack that took place in 2009 on military facilities, also involving Islamic extremists in Little Rock, Arkansas, and Fort Hood, Texas. Totally delusional. Didn't want to bring that up. Again, very calm there in that press conference. Cruz went on to say the Obama administration was woefully reluctant to call either an act of radical Islamic terrorism, instead suggesting workplace violence as a justification for the killings. But it's not just Obama that's being completely delusional here, pushing their agenda. The media as well is complicit in this. This is the same media that wanted to blame all white people, to say all white people need to feel guilty about this Charleston shooting. They're absolutely petrified of talking about Islamic extremism. So obviously nothing has changed. Political correctness is king following this attack on Marines. One CNN analyst asserted that he might not even be a Muslim. He was asked by John Berman what the name Mohammed Youssef Abdulaziz suggested about the nature of the attack. A CNN analyst and former FBI Assistant Director Tom Fuentes said, "I know what the name sounds like, but we don't know that it's a Muslim name. We know it's an Arabic name. We don't know what this individual was believing in, and that's what they were going to be trying to determine." Of course, they were able to determine exactly what Dylan Roof's motives were from some pictures on his Facebook page before he had admitted there to the cops. So once again, total hypocrisy. And an MSNBC host, Andrea Mitchell, tried to divert attention from Abdulaziz's own blog. His blog revealed that Islam played a central role in his ideology, and instead she chose to ask one of his former classmates whether or not he was into guns.
Were guns a big part of activity, social or other activity? Did he hunt? Did he shoot? I mean, was that just part of small town Tennessee activity?
Actually, he wasn't one of the guys that I ever heard about, going hunting, or he wasn't really that kind of guy, but he also didn't really tell a lot of people about his personal life. I don't think very many people knew much about him. He just was very reserved and kept to himself.
To celebrate the birth of our country and give a big thanks to all the info warriors out there, we are now offering free shipping on every item shipped out of the InfoWarsStore.com warehouse. That's free shipping on all t-shirts, books, and DVDs. Free shipping on Moulin Labe and 1776 belt buckles, which are also 25% off while supplies last. Free shipping on all of our InfoWarsLife.com nutraceuticals. If it's in the InfoWarsStore.com warehouse, it's shipping for free, all during the month of July. It's our way of saying thanks to the true heart and soul of this operation, who stand beside us and support us as we wage an info war for liberty and freedom for all. InfoWarsStore.com, free shipping for the month of July.